We now go to the Grand Canyon State, Arizona, to meet Adrian Fontes, the always inspiring candidate who must be elected to the critical position of Secretary of State in order to protect this swing state and America more broadly from Trumpism. He is a Marine and a former prosecutor. Adrian is going to continue to make voting safer, easier, and more secure, just as he did in his former role as recorder of Maricopa County. He's running against Trump Republican and traitor Mark Finchem, who is a dangerous anti-American extremist who is not only a literal member of the Oath Keepers, he's going to do his best to take away people's right to vote in person and by mail and to have those votes counted fairly. Please welcome Adrian Fontes.
Thank you so much for having me, and hello, Field Team 6. I know I'm not muted because the little thing's telling me that I'm not, but I'm really glad to be here with you all. We can make an enormous difference here, and I don't think it's enough to express the importance of this and the incredible difference between myself and my opponent. I know everybody on this call has already been sent my bio, so I will cut short my presentation on that side of things. But I do want to talk just for a brief second about my opponent. Not only was he at January 6th, not only is he an Oath Keeper, but he has co-sponsored legislation to indicate that in Arizona, if folks don't like, in the legislature, if they don't like the outcome of the popular vote, that the Arizona legislature will be able to send whatever electors they want to the Electoral College in 2024. This is real, folks. This guy is an incredible threat to our democracy. He does not like mail-in voting, which was used in 2020 by 92% of Arizona's voters and 88% of our primary voters just a few weeks ago. But he disrespects the idea that folks know how to run elections. He wants voters to only vote in their own home precinct on election day and have hand counting of all of those ballots. Anybody that knows anything about election administration know that this is not only a logistical nightmare, financially impossible, but really is just a very difficult thing to do. That's on the technical side of things. But at the end of the day, look, folks, this could not be, again, a more stark difference between a guy like that and a guy like me. I'm an attorney. I'm a proud father of three very, very incredible, independent young ladies. My oldest is 17. My middle kid is 14. She's practicing. She's on a golf team, of all things. And my youngest, 12 years old. I want these young women to grow up in a country where they can believe in their own future and have control of their own bodies. I also want to make sure that folks understand that I am a CIRA certified election administrator. Auburn University and the Election Center does a thing called CIRA certification. I am a certified election and registration administrator. I will be the only Arizona State Secretary of State who takes office with all of these things in mind, including, as mentioned, the fact that I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and I'm a guy who's actually run elections. I've actually been a registrar of voters, and I am the guy who built the system that beat the cyber ninjas. That's right. Maricopa County 2020, the subject of more scrutiny than any other election system in the history of America. Broward County ain't got nothing on Maricopa 2020. I built that system, the bipartisan system that crushed all of the conspiracy theories, that crushed all of the doubt and innuendo, that made sure that facts reigned supreme, and we actually made sure that folks could vote. And while I was the county recorder here in Maricopa County, we went from 2.1 to 2.6 million voters on our voter rolls. Think of the proportional increase of 500,000 voters in just 4 years. And from 2016 to 2020, folks, Maricopa County saw 600,000 more ballots cast. But it's not just about me. It's about the uncertainty presented by these folks on the other side. And think about that uncertainty. If you're in business, in industry, in tech, arts and sciences, music, law, medicine, we need people running these systems, not only who know how to run these systems, but who will be dependable and reasonable. We need a little bit of adult in these offices. And here in Arizona, this is what is most important. Yes, the governor's race is incredibly important, and so are the other races. But from a position of, look, you can't get a more stark difference. Mark Finchem was on the steps of the Capitol on January 6th. He is an insurrectionist and a traitor. And my time in the Marine Corps really was a time where I wrote this country a blank check payable on my life to protect and uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Folks, whatever you can do to help keep me in service, even if it's not in that particular uniform, I'm happy to take charge. I'm happy to move forward. And by the way, in Arizona, the Secretary of State, many of you may not know, is also next in line for the governorship of the state of Arizona. We don't have a lieutenant governor here. The Secretary of State is next in line. So this is a very big deal. I'm very excited to be here. Field Team 6 is an incredible, incredible group of folks. I just actually got briefed again by my campaign on how incredible the work you all are going to do is. electfontes.com is the website where you can learn more about me. You can learn about some of my policies that I have proposed, including a policy to potentially add medical care providers and women who are seeking abortion onto the confidential voter list so that their addresses cannot be easily looked up from the regular voter rolls, saving the privacy of some folks because we're looking back at some territorial laws in Arizona to revert back to that don't have exceptions for rape or incest. I am one of those kinds of guys who really supports and trusts women to make their own decisions with their own bodies. I believe in science. And look, this old Marine was a marksmanship instructor too. I know that there are certain weapons that should not be available to the civilian population. So if you want a guy who understands these things from a personal perspective, not just family, not just my education, not just my professional training as an election administrator, but is willing to fight like hell to make sure that elections, that golden thread that runs through and holds together the fabric of our society, I'm running to make sure we don't pull that thread out and disintegrate all of our society, all of those different sectors that I mentioned. We have to protect our democracy. We have to protect this republic. I am the bulwark against that chaos and that uncertainty here in Arizona. We absolutely love to have your help here in the Grand Canyon state. We used to be known as the baby state till Hawaii and Alaska jumped in, but God bless them, it makes us 50 and we're stronger, united against these folks who want to divide us all. My name is Adrian Fontes. I am the Democratic nominee for Arizona Secretary of State. I would absolutely love to have Field Team 6 out here helping me kick ass against these guys.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Adrian. Also, for those of you who want to hear more from Adrian, I actually interviewed him for my show this week, so that'll be coming out
I didn't know I could plug you. I didn't know I could plug you. We did an interview, I think, just yesterday, Brian. I'm so excited about it. Check out his webcast, podcast, I don't know, whatever it is. This guy's awesome, and I love the new setting behind him. It's kind of a Max Headroom kind of a thing. I love it.
That's it. Well, thank you to Adrian. Field Team 6 has had its biggest voter drives ever in Arizona before COVID hit. And true story, someone from Adrian Fontes' recorder office even thanked Jason and a group of volunteers for registering voters during a drive at a Phoenix courthouse. So it just makes sense now to meet one of Field Team 6's biggest champions of in-person voter drives, the relentlessly positive, positively irreplaceable Judy Shatkin.
I'm Judy Shatkin, and I live in the suburbs of Chicago in Lake County, which is very close to Wisconsin.
Judy is an accomplished jazz pianist, a medical doctor, a meditator, a Whole Foods plant-based eater, and now a super volunteer for Field Team 6, registering Democrats in the vital swing state of Wisconsin.
I am registering people at this school fair in honor of Father's Day. I live so close to Wisconsin, so I go every weekday now to Milwaukee to register voters. It is just over an hour drive to get to Milwaukee. But I care about our country and democracy, and I want democracy to exist.
Before 2020, Judy was not politically active, but the creeping authoritarianism of the Republican Party, as well as the Black Lives Matter protests of that summer, spurred her to get involved.
But I realized that I can't do this alone. Like, I need to have a team. Like, I need to, help recruit more people.
Hi, this is Judy, and I just went to the pick and save in Milwaukee and trained 3 volunteers.
I'm just hoping that my presence at the training, since I'm local, is, helps people to take that next step, beyond just, watching and listening.
Thank you, Judy, for registering Democrats to save the world and for inspiring others to do the same.
I'm just trying to do my best to get people registered so that people can decide their futures instead of corporations.
Thank you for holding the line in Wisconsin, Judy.